Good evening, Marion County. I'm Chad Mattingly. It's August 4th, 2026 at 7 o'clock. And this is the 13th ever live question and answer live event here for the Marion County Clerk Office. Again, I'm Chad Mattingly. I'm your county clerk, and I'm honored to be with you tonight to answer some frequently asked questions and to go over some of the things that we do here, from motor vehicles and elections and land records. So your question's important. If you want to ask a question, feel free to give us a call right now, live on the air, on the internet, on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and on our YouTube page. You can call us 270-692-2651. It's storm season, so below me you'll see how to register for storm alerts. You can text alerts to 270-321-3535 to sign up for storm alerts. That's with the Marion County Emergency Management Department, and we sure are thankful for what they do. But if you've got a question and it's important to you, it's important to us. And if it's important to you, then it's probably important to somebody else. So don't hesitate to give us a call. I've got the chat for the Facebook up as well. So either type us a chat in the Facebook, a question in the Facebook chat, or give us a call at 270-692-2651. Let's get right into it. We're going to start tonight with motor vehicles. That's what most people know us for here at the County Clerk Office, is doing motor vehicle transactions. And it's back to school time in Marion County. School starts back next Wednesday for the Marion County Public Schools. I think St. A starts back this week and Bethlehem starts back this week, but the public schools start back next Wednesday. And our family, we went to an open house tonight, and we got another one tomorrow night and another one on Monday night. So it's a busy time back to school. Colleges, it's a busy time moving students into school and going back to school. So, if you want one of the college plates, we probably got them here. If it's a Campbellsville University plate, we've got it. If you want a UK plate, we've got that. U of L plates, Western Kentucky plates. We've got the Murray State and Morehead State and Eastern Kentucky. We've got the KCTC. We've got all the college plates. If you want a college plate, we've either got it or we can get it for you. But knowing that it's back to school time, it's a busy time of year. And sometimes it's hard to get in here to see us at the County Clerk Office. And what you want to do if you can't get in here is just jump right on the internet and renew your car tags online. It's easy. How easy, you say, Chad? Well, I'm going to tell you how easy it is. I've got a short video here, a minute-long video that's going to show you everything you need to know about renewing your car tags online. We're going to play that next, and I hope that the sound doesn't blow you up. But here we go. What's that? Your vehicle registration is about to expire? Don't worry. Renewing online is easy at drive.ky.gov. A little click here and a little click there, and you're almost done. All you need is your plate number and title number. Both can be found on your current registration. Verify the information on your screen. Is your address right? If not, call the County Clerk Office so we can get that updated before you register online. Put in your contact information for confirmations, and if there's questions. You can add multiple vehicles. Once you have all your vehicles queued up, continue on. You can donate to the Kentucky Organ Donor Program, the Child Care Assistance Program, or the Veterans Program Trust Fund. $100, $5, no dollars, any amount of dollars. Put in your payment information and wait for your registration to come in the mail. No matter where you find yourself this summer, your vehicle renewal is only a couple of clicks away at drive.ky.gov. That's right. A little click here and a little click there. That's all you need to register online or to renew your vehicle online. It's easy as can be. It's getting easier all the time. For the longest time, if it went delinquent the next day, if it was past due, you weren't going to be able to renew online. But now it's getting to where you can do past due and delinquent taxes online. They're improving the amount of vehicles that can be done online. So try it out. If you can't get in, if it's too busy, If it's a busy time and you need to get your vehicles renewed, know that there's always an option at drive.ky.gov, or give us a call here. We can renew your vehicle over the phone a lot of times. So there's always options. So that's motor vehicles. We're going to move right along into elections. You'll see on the screen the most current voter registration data for Marion County. This is as of July 29th. That's when that's finally got everything updated after the May primary. Of course, we get a lot of voter registration. The voter registration deadline ends a month before the election, and then we get a lot of voter registration during the election. So it takes a while to catch back up, and then, quite honestly, for a couple weeks after the election, I don't want to think about elections. So it takes a while to get right back in the groove, but all the voter registration up until July 29th is on your screen there. That's the most current data. There's been a few trickle in since then, but nothing that's going to make a substantial difference. And you can see that there are 13,596 voters in Marion County. And of those, 54, almost 55% are Democrats, 38.5% are registered as Republicans, and then the third parties trickle in there anywhere between almost nothing to 3.5%. We have seen an uptick in independents lately, but for the most part, the split between the parties has stayed fairly the same. We've got a few more voters than we had in the primary, so that's a good thing. Registering to vote is a good thing, especially with the election coming up. So let's take a look at some of the dates for the upcoming election. The last day to file as a write-in is August the 24th. That is, 3 weeks from yesterday. Monday, August the 24th, 4 o'clock is the last day to file as a write-in candidate for the November election. Now, the first day to register or to request an absentee ballot. The election officially starts 45 days before the election. Ballots will be sent out. That's September 19th. That is coming up before you know it. And the way you do that is you can call the clerk office here and we can help you request that absentee ballot, but you can do that online at www.govote.ky.gov is where you can request your ballot, and that starts 45 days prior to the election and goes until 2 weeks before the election. So there's a period of time there where you can request an absentee ballot, and that starts September 19th. Now, we were just talking about registering to vote. The last day to register to vote for the general election is October the 5th. Now, you also want to update your address. Even if you can't get to the driver's license regional office to update your address on your driver's license, go ahead and go online and update your address on your voter registration. Now, they don't have to, we're going to ask you where you live when you come to vote. We're going to scan your ID and you're going to give us an address, and the address needs to match the voter registration, not necessarily your license, not necessarily your ID. Thing to remember that's different than the primary: party affiliation does not matter in the general election. You're going to get a ballot. Your ballot's not going to be based on your party. It's going to be based on your geography, based on your precinct and whether or not you're in a city or in what magistrate district you're in. So party affiliation doesn't matter at all. And in the primary, it does, because you either get a Democrat ballot or a Republican ballot. In the general election, you're going to get a ballot with both parties' candidates on it, and you can vote for any of them you want. If you're an independent, you can vote. If you're a Democrat, you can vote. If you're a Republican, you can vote. If you're an other, you can vote. And you can vote for any of the candidates you want. You can vote a Republican on one race and a Democrat on another, and you can leave the next one blank because you don't like either one of them. However you want to do it in the general election. Party affiliation does not matter, but you do want to get your address updated. You do want to, while you're at it, if you need to change your party affiliation, then you can do that too. You can register to vote as many times as you want to. You can't register enough. We have people that I can tell whenever they're watching the nightly news, because one day they're going to get on there and they're going to change their party affiliation to Democrat. The next day they're going to get on there and change their party affiliation to Republican. The next day they're going to get on there and change it to independent because they don't like neither one of them. And that's okay. They can register to vote as many times as they want. Thank you, Jonathan, for watching. And thank you for being a local car dealer here. And we appreciate you, Jonathan Gibson. Jonathan Gibson there in the chat. Most of them call him Big Daddy. That's what we call him around here, Big Daddy's Auto Sales there on Main Street in Lebanon. So that's the last day to register to vote in Marion County in Kentucky is October the 5th. Again, the party affiliation doesn't matter. And the online registration closes at 4 o'clock that day. 4 o'clock local time. So if it comes in at 4:01, I can't by law accept that application. It's going to sit there until after the election. But you can register up until the close of business, which we close at 20 after 4 Monday through Friday, and 8:20 to 11:50 on Saturdays, except for holiday Saturdays. You can register until the close of business on that day, October 5th. So that's the last day to register to vote. The last day to request an absentee ballot is 2 weeks before the election, and that's October 20th this time. Again, you go to www.govote.ky.gov. That is the one place where you can get voter registration done. You can request absentee ballots. You can talk about that absentee ballots. That's one of the dream teams right there, Miss Donna Royce. Thank you, ma'am. The last day to request an absentee ballot is October the 20th, again at govote.ky.gov. Then we're getting into in-person voting. The 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th, 28th. We were just talking about our hours here. We're open on Saturdays, but you notice that the 24th is not on there. So this is in-person, in the office, absentee voting for people that have a designated reason. You have to be eligible to vote absentee. So not a lot of people do this, but we've got 6 days of it, and that Saturday is not one of them. We will be here that Saturday doing motor vehicles. We'll have the office open and we'll have election machines, but we will not be able to do an absentee ballot that morning because by law it's those 6 days. The Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the election. And that this time is the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Now we're getting into after the 28th, on October 29th. Now we're getting into the good stuff, the good in-person voting. October 29th, October 30th, and October 31st, that's early voting. And we're doing that at the event center this time from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. I don't know if there's any other county in the state that have got 12 hours of early voting all 3 days, but we're going to have it here in Marion County. It's going to be at the event center. A lot of parking, easy to get in and out. And a whole lot of people took advantage of that in the primary, and we look forward to a whole lot taking advantage of it here in the general election. So early voting this time will be the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st at the Marion County Event Center. And that's out there on the bypass in between the roundabouts, in between the roundabout at St. Rose and the roundabout at Loretta Highway, St. Mary's Highway there. So 101 Independence Drive. If you haven't been to the event center, this is a great time to do it. Talk about something that Marion County has that a lot of counties are just envious of, and that's that event center out there. So many good things going on at the event center. A good place to get some exercise in, a good place to, I've seen bands out there practicing in one of the rooms that you can rent. It's a real gym to have in our county. And we'll be doing our early voting out there. And then November 3rd is election day. 6 to 6 in 12 different locations in Marion County. polling locations on election day. We've got 12 of them, and you can vote in any of the 12. They call them vote centers around the state. We've pretty much just taken our regular polling locations from the precinct model and made it to where anybody can vote in them. It's the best of both worlds, and we'll be there from 6 to 6 on election day, November the 3rd. We were talking about where you register to vote and where you request an absentee ballot, and that's one place, the best place, the only place that you want to go is govote.ky.gov. You can register to vote. You can request an absentee ballot. I was on there earlier checking out my voter status and looking at my polling location. It'll tell you who your state senator is and who your state rep is and who your congressperson is. A lot of information right there at govote.ky.gov. I was talking to the director of the State Board of Elections yesterday, a wonderful lady by the name of Karen Sellers, and we were talking about some of the things that Kentucky State Board of Elections does that a lot of other states don't do, and we're lucky to have that crew in Frankfort. Out of all the state departments that we work with, the State Board of Elections is as good as it gets, and across the country, they're as good as it gets. So that's their website. It's the only one you want to go to. If you see something on social media that says, hey, register to vote here, and it doesn't have that .gov at the end of it, then don't go. Don't go to it. Govote.ky.gov is the only place that you want to register to vote in the state of Kentucky. Or if you don't want to do it online, you can always come in here and fill out a paper and pencil voter registration card. But definitely do not go to any other website. Govote.ky.gov. And it's going to look like this when you go, what's on the screen there. The mobile version is kind of on your right. I'm circling it with my mouse here. I know you can't see that, so I need to describe what I'm circling. It's the mobile version is there on your right, and what it looks like on a desktop or a laptop is there at the bottom. Now, there's only one safe place to register to vote or update your voter registration online in Kentucky, and that's govote.ky.gov. It's secure, and don't fall for online traps that want to steal your personal information. Contact the Marion County Clerk Office if you have questions about that. Now, we're talking about on our election day, 12 polling locations all across the county, from Bradfordsville and Gravel Switch to Holy Cross and Raywick, from Jessietown to St. Mary's. Everywhere in Marion County, you got a polling location close to you. There's 4 of them in downtown Lebanon, and all of them are open to any registered Marion County voter. So if you haven't voted early voting or absentee voting, come out on election day and definitely make sure you get your vote on, Marion County. Now, there's only one reason that we're able to be one of the only states in the county, or one of the only counties in the state that has 12 hours of early voting all 3 days. And there's only one reason why we're one of the only counties that have a precinct level of polling locations throughout the county that operate as a vote center. There's only one reason we can do that. Well, we've got a great county board of elections. That's one reason. But the main reason is because we've got the best precinct election officers, best poll workers in all of the state, in all of the country. We've got the best that there is. But to continue to have the coverage that we have, we always need more. We got as close last election as I'm comfortable getting. We've got parts of the county that we could really stand to have some more people sign up as poll workers and precinct election officers. Now, all parts of the county we could use, and it doesn't hurt to, you might spend the first couple of elections on the backup list, on the in case of emergency list, but you would be part of a roster of individuals that are second to none in this state. But we could really use them in the LA area, in the Loretta area. We could use some more poll workers. We could always use some poll workers in Lebanon, but the end towards of the county towards Loretta, we could definitely use some more. In Bradfordsville and Gravel Switch, we've got some poll workers that have been with us for a good long while, and at some point they're going to want to let somebody else take a turn. So, if you sign up as a poll worker, then we'll get you trained every time, regardless if we can need you on election day or not. And we try to, anybody that wants to work early voting, which is the best training for any poll worker, is working an early voting shift and getting that hands-on training. Anybody that signs up for early voting, we try to get you a shift in there, because we do 12 hours each day. We do 2 7-hour shifts so that nobody's getting burnt out before election day. So if you're interested in serving your community in a way that is fulfilling and protects democracy and gets you a little bit of money on the side, then sign up. Give me a call up here at the clerk's office. Send me an email there at chad.mattingly@ky.gov. Come up here. The form to sign is super simple, and we'll get you on the roster for the best group of poll workers in the state. They're amazing, and they are the ones that allow us to do so many hours of early voting and so many polling locations on election day. And I can't be thankful enough for them. They're doing a tremendous job. So that's elections. That's what we're going to talk about with elections tonight. Let's go on to the land records portion of the office. Now, one of the things we do here at the County Clerk Office is we protect personal private property ownership by making public the records of property ownership in our deed room. We've got deeds that go back to 1863. We've got mortgages and marriage licenses and encumbrances and public records that go back to 1863. Prior to that, the courthouse burned between 1834 and 1863. We lost those records during the Civil War, but our records go back to 1863, and we've got a group that have been working on it. We had a big group that was working on it during the last college year, and we've got a couple working in-house this time on back scanning and getting images for those records all the way back to 1863. We're not there yet. We're almost through the 1930s. We're about to get into the 20s. So we're right in the middle of the Depression right now. And some of the records that we're seeing are unlike anything that I've seen before, with banks going broke and being dissolved and some just really interesting things. And those are all records that are found in our deed room. And as we get them scanned in, they're available online. And our website is Marion, COClerkKY.gov. You'll see, hold on, sorry about that. There you go. I didn't take that off. But you can see where that arrow is leading to the free online record search. That's how you get into our free online record search. We don't have a paywall. Most counties have a paywall to get into their deed room. And you're either limited to a very small amount of searches, or you have to pay a monthly subscription. We don't in Marion County. We've absorbed that cost and made the deed room. You don't pay a cover charge to come into the deed room here, which is open 8:20 to 4:20 Monday through Friday and 8:20 to 11:50 on Saturdays, except for holiday Saturdays. You don't pay a cover charge to get in the deed room here. You don't need a library card. You just go back there and you look at public records. Well, if we're not going to have a cover charge to come in person, we're not going to have it to go online either. So we got a free online deed room. You get on there, you agree to the terms, and you search as much as you want, all night long, all day long. It don't matter. And every day we're getting more and more images on there, more and more of our old records indexed. It's really, give us some time and it's going to be really nice. But one of the other features that we have that doesn't cost you anything is a title watch system. And what this is a notification system to where you'll put in the keywords of things that you want to, keep an eye on. We've seen it before to where we had a call just last week or the week before where somebody said, hey, I got a notification from the title watch. And Dave Weinbrenner Financial Services, he's really good about getting his clients signed up for this. And I think they may have been one of Dave's clients. But he thinks it's important to have this protection for your properties. And what it does is it gives you a notification. And they had put in as one of their keywords their address, which was a good idea. And they said, hey, we got a notification about this deed filing. And they said, we didn't do any kind of deed work. And we looked into it just a little bit. It took us about 2 or 3 minutes. And we looked and we was like, oh, well, your son had purchased this piece of property. And on the deed, he had put where he lived at, which was their address. And the program had read that on the scanned image and notified them that, hey, that one of your keywords showed up on a deed. And they got notified that a deed was recorded with one of their keywords, and that keyword was their address, and it was because their son had bought a piece of property using that address as his mailing address. So it does work, and it's not going to keep somebody from, if we get a recordable document that doesn't just look on its face completely fraudulent, which we have gotten those, and I've told the person that the best thing they can do is just have their lawyer sue me if they think that it's not fraudulent, and guess what? Their lawyer never contacted me, and if they did, then, we just had to litigate that, but we're going to take documents at their face value, but we're going to look at them too. So it doesn't keep people from filing documents that aren't completely up and up, but it notifies you as soon as it happens. And it's better to know about it now than to know about it in 2.5 years, or when somebody comes and starts squatting on your property. So that is a free service. It's the Title Watch system, and it's let's see, there's a QR code right there to where it'll take you right to the registration for it. And I think there's going to come a point here before too long that we're going to be able to help you register for that. But really, it'd be good you're going to want to put your keywords in there, whether that's your name or an address or map ID numbers, whatever you want. I mean, we have people that have title watches and they have keywords in there for their parents or their children to help. If you got an elderly parent, you want to help your parent do anything that they can, but you also want to help them keep an eye on their property. So you can put any keyword you want. You could put a keyword in there to get a notification when something happens on my property. It's public record. So if you wanted to, you could. I would suggest not putting in my name, because there's a whole lot of documents that come through here that's got my name on it. And you're going to get a lot of notifications, and it's going to get cumbersome. So, yeah, there's that. But you could if you wanted to. So that's our Title Watch system. That's our land records. Getting better all the time, and protecting private ownership of property. The American dream. Property rights. That's right. So now we haven't had any phone calls. If you wanted to, though, give us a call, 270-692-2651. Call now before the robo AI bots start calling about my Medicare, because they'll do it. We get them calls too here. But if you got a question, give us a call. But let's just open up the mailbag right here. These are questions that we have gotten here recently, and let's look at them and get us an answer. So this one comes from Daniel. He says, if I bought a truck with no title, how hard is it to get a title to it? Well, Daniel, my first suggestion is not buy trucks with no titles. The first thing we would do is we would run the VIN. We can't really tell anything, generically. What can I do? We need to see what the history is about that vehicle. See if it's been titled before. So we'll run the VIN. So if you've got a question like this, make sure you got your VIN handy. That way we can check it out and see what the story is about that vehicle. But the number one answer to that question is don't buy a truck with no title. If somebody's got a truck that they're selling and they don't have a title for it, odds are they couldn't get a title for it. They had problems with that title, and now they're passing them problems on to you. So don't buy somebody else's problem. Make sure the seller has a title for the vehicle, and make sure that the title is in the seller's name. You know, if you're buying one from Billy Bob, but it's titled to Jimmy John, then something's not right there. There's cause for pause, they would say. So, you know, the best thing to always do if you're buying a vehicle or if you're selling a vehicle, if you're making a vehicle transaction with a private party, meet them at the clerk's office. If you're a seller, make sure that person gets that vehicle out of your name. If you're a buyer, make sure that vehicle doesn't have a lot of delinquent taxes and that you're getting the most current title and that it's signed and notarized in the correct places. Make sure that the transaction gets completed. Because if the transaction sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. All right, let's jump right back in our mailbag here. Let's see here. Susie wants to know, what all do I need to bring with me to get a marriage license? It's a great question, Susie, because that's one of the things we do here is we issue marriage licenses at the county clerk's office. And what do you need to get a marriage license? Well, you're going to need to show up to get a marriage license within 30 days of your marriage. So if you're getting married on Christmas Eve, then you don't want to show up now. You want to show up 30 days before Christmas Eve. If you're getting married in the month of August, you can show up right now. If you're getting married on Ham Days weekend, it's too early to get a marriage license. A marriage license is good for 30 days. And you're going to want to show up within 30 days of the wedding with another consenting human adult. They need to be over the age of 18, and they need to be a human, and they need to be an adult, and they need to be consenting to this marriage. And when y'all come in love, bring your ID and $60, and we're going to get you a marriage license. Hold on, we got a question. Comes from Margaret in our chat. Is it possible for us to put alerts or blocks on our property deeds that there to prevent fraud? I've seen that some places allow people to do that. We have definitely got alerts for your property deeds. Margaret, right here, I'm going to put that one back up. Thank you for the question, Margaret. That's a great question. You can go to MarionCoClerkKY.gov. That's our website. You can see there that we've got a free online deed search, no paywall. You just jump right in and you can do all the searching for your deeds that you want to do. But we've also got a free, that's right, free title watch system. You get email or text notifications and you sign up for keywords that you want to get notified about. And it works. We see people get notified all the time. And it's fairly easy to sign up for. You just want to put in keywords. That can be your names, your family members' names, your address, your map ID number. Now what it does, it doesn't block it. You can't block deed filings. But it does alert you as soon as something that is associated with your keywords gets recorded. And it doesn't have to be something that we index. It's the program is reading the scanned image of what we scan in there. And the example I gave just a minute ago was we got a call. They said they were getting an alert about their address. And they said, we haven't filed any deeds, but their son had and had used their address as his mailing address on the deed. And it notified them, because that was one of their keywords, that their address was associated with a deed filing at the Marion County Clerk Office. We figured it out, no fraud, everything was all good. But it's better to be notified now than to find out in another way in 6 months or 3 years, or nip it in the bud just as quick as possible. So yes, Margaret, it is possible for us to put alerts on your property deeds to prevent fraud. And not only are we one of them places that allow people to do this, we provide that service for you for free. And you can go to our website, or you can go to this QR code right here to register. And I think before too long, our indexing software company is going to make it possible for us to help you sign up for those. So it's something that you can always manicure. You can go in there, once you get set up, you can add keywords, you can take them away. It's something that you can always be working to make it work for you. So yes, Margaret, thank you for that question, and you can indeed protect your property through services provided by the Marion County Clerk Office at our website at marion.co.clerkky.gov. Let me, before I change this, if you need to be alerted about emergency weather, text alerts to 270-321-3535. And that's courtesy of the Marion County Fiscal Court and the Marion County Emergency Management. I definitely recommend signing up for Tidal Watch for free and severe weather alerts for free with emergency management. So I'm going to put our website there for the remainder of this video in case anybody needs that. So yeah, Tidal Watch, free from the Marion County Clerk's Office. All right, so we answered Susie's question about her marriage license. Bring a consenting adult and adult human. And I say it like that because you would be surprised some of the things that people have tried to marry over the years. Not here. I mean, we've had some funny marriage license stories, but nothing like that. People that you just read things. So yes, a consenting human adult with identification, and we're going to ask you some questions like your parents' names, what your occupation are, things that we can't get off your ID, but and then it's going to cost you $60, and it's good for 30 days. Let's look at get back in our mailbag here, and this mailbag question is from Samantha, and we get this question a lot around here. Do you have a survey with my property lines on it? And we got a lot of plats, and you're going to find them on our website at marion.co.clerkky.gov. We've had the same crew that is backfiling our old deeds. They've got our plats looking in real good shape right now. Most unless it came in the last day or two, our plats are scanned and available online. You just look up the cabinet number as the book number and the slide number as the page number, and you get a good quality scan of that plat, regardless if it's a 8.5 by 14 or if it's a full size plat. We've got them scanned in back there. And the question Samantha has is, do we have a survey with her property lines on them? If there's a plat that's recorded here, it's gonna be referenced on your deed. In the legal description of your deed, it's going to say that the person had source of title and where the seller's source of title was, but it's also going to have, a lot of times it's going to reference any deed, any restrictions, or any surveys that were done and recorded here as a plat. That's the only way that we would have those property lines. The PVA does a tremendous job. They're an incredible resource. Their property lines are as good as any PVA in the state. They do a tremendous job. Catfish and Brian and Andy and Sherry and Amanda and them upstairs. But their lines, their parcel lines, are for taxation purposes only. They're not like a survey. They use the surveys. If you have a survey done, and you paid the money to do a survey, and we've got some really good surveyors here in Marion County. If you pay that money to get that done, it costs $50 to record that survey here. And it's going to be here forever, and you can reference it on deeds, and those are the best lines that you could possibly have. But most of the property in the county hasn't been surveyed like that. And if it has, then it hasn't been recorded. But we'll always, point you in the right direction to look. But the answer to Samantha's question is probably not. But it's worth a look, and it would be referenced on your deed. If you buy a new piece of property, it'll be referenced on your legal description if there's a survey and a plat recorded. And again, I'm going to throw that up here. You can search all day long, all night long, as many searches as you want at our free online deed room at marionscoclerkky.gov. It's there's not a lot that are as wide open as ours is and as accessible as ours is, and it's an expense we're proud to incur here. That way that you don't have to go through a paywall to get access to your land records. All right, jumping right back into our mailbag here. We're getting close to the end. I think this might be our last mailbag that I've got up here. So if you've got another question, thank you, Margaret, for asking a question in the chat. If anybody wants to call, they can call at 270-692-2651. I'm going to put you on speakerphone. That way everybody can hear your question. But or you can put it in the chat. Now I'll look here, make sure I'm not missing anything. But our last question in the mailbag, and we get this question a lot. A lot. We get this question a bunch. When is my court date? Well, we don't deal with the judicial system here. Our friends over at the circuit clerk do that, and you're going to want to give them a call about your court date. Their number is 270-692-2681. We're 2651 at the Marion County Clerk's Office. We're going to deal with your motor vehicles. We're going to deal with your elections and your land records and your marriage license and your delinquent taxes and your notaries and and a long list of things. But we don't deal with your court date. They do that over at the circuit clerk, and you'll want to give them a call. Another thing that that the circuit clerk used to do, that we don't do still, that they do in regional offices, is driver's licensing. And tomorrow is a pop-up event for driver's license, and we don't do it. This is not taking place in our office. It'll be upstairs in the fiscal courtroom, but there's going to be a pop-up event tomorrow at the Marion County Fiscal Courtroom. I think they start about 9, and they're going to go to about 3. This is the second of the pop-up events for driver's licensing that will take place in Marion County this year. Each county's guaranteed 2, and guess how many Marion County got? We got 2 this year. This is the last one. I did my driver's license over in Danville. Since then, they've opened the Bardstown office, and it wasn't bad, but it'd be better if we had more pop-ups. I think if the legislature would expand the pop-up program, I think it would improve the experience for many of these counties like Marion County that don't have a regional office in it. And tomorrow is going to be a pop-up here in Marion County. So if you need something done with your driver's license, a lot of people have made appointments. I think there many times they take walk-ins. If I was going to be a walk-in at the pop-up event tomorrow, I'd try to get there early. I'd try to be there You know, I think they're going to start about 9. I'd try to be there in the morning. I wouldn't wait until the end of the day. But hopefully you've got a reservation or an appointment and they get you taken care of tomorrow. That's about all I got. I'm going to leave you up here with another reminder of how you can get emergency alerts and stay informed and safe during storms. You text alerts to 270-321-3535. That's courtesy of the Marion County Fiscal Court and the Marion County Emergency Management. You want to be prepared. It includes tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, flooding warnings, and emergency updates. And it's that time of year, really. It's kind of seems like it's always that time of year these days. Always got some emergency weather, or some severe weather going on. So that's all I got tonight. I appreciate anybody that tuned in, or anybody that's watching this after the fact. Again, these Q&As, this is the 13th one, and they're available on Facebook until they delete it, and they stay on YouTube. We've got our Facebook is facebook.com/Marion County Clerk Office, and our YouTube is youtube.com/Marion County Clerk Office. So you can always go back and check them out if you missed anything. I do very much appreciate you being asking questions. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you to all the people that ask questions in our mailbag. If you ever got a question, don't hesitate to holler at us here. We are here to serve you. That's what we're here for, and thank you for allowing us to serve you. We take serious what we do, and we try to do the best that we can. And if you ever need us, give us a holler. That's our phone number right there. We're here Monday through Friday from 8:20 to 4:20, and on Saturdays, except for holiday Saturdays, from 8:20 to 11:50. So you give us a holler, and we'll try to do everything we can to help you. And with that, I'm going to say thank you, Marion County. I'm going to go home and eat some leftover chicken from Donna Faye's. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm going to pair that with some of my wife's famous ham and potato casserole. And I'm going to rough up some kids and scruff their heads and hug them up and love them up, and just be thankful for another beautiful day, and thankful that y'all allow us to serve you here. And I'm going to leave you with that beautiful Marion County flag. Have a great night, Marion County.